For those of you who don't know me, my name is Bridget Legault, and I am the community manager for Rainforest down in Calgary. Good thing I've said this spiel enough times that I can somewhat multitask here. Oh, I take that back. I've got to just cancel out here. Sorry, guys, 1 second. So we also have my colleague Amber Rowden, who is our community storyteller. You may be connected with Amber, or we have a group of volunteer steering committee members up in Edmonton. They're a volunteer group up there, led by the chair, James Kierstead. So if you're coming to us from up in Edmonton, you feel free to connect with some of our good rainforest friends up in that direction. We try to sprinkle a little rainforest all throughout the province when we have the opportunity. And when I was able to meet some of the other regional innovation networks in Alberta last spring at some meetings in Red Deer, I was fortunate enough to learn about these technology access centers that we're featuring this month. Which I was just blown away that I didn't know about them. So we'll all learn something new today, I'm sure, even if you are familiar with the tasks. I'm going to go into slideshow mode here. If you're new to Rainforest, we'll get you to just throw up a virtual hand or your real hand if you'd like, although I may not be able to see you well, just so that others can welcome you in the room. There's quite a few people here that we know attend Rainforest Weekly, our Lunch Without Lunch event, and other initiatives. So if those of you have been around the block for a while, please feel free to reach out to our newcomers. We're very happy to have you join us. Just so you know, this community is open to anyone and everyone working within or curious about tech and entrepreneurship. So just laying the groundwork there if you popped into the wrong Zoom room by accident or something. Probably find something you can learn here even if you did. So prior to getting started, we will acknowledge the territories that we live, work, and play upon here in Alberta, specifically Calgary and Edmonton, because I am on Tsuut'ina territory. I will acknowledge those and the homes of those of the treaty, or the home of those in the Treaty 7 region, and the Métis people as well. So if you're in another area of the province and or country or planet Earth, please feel free to throw that in the chat, and we'd love to acknowledge the traditional territories that you work upon. So you guys thought I was going to skip through the video. Never. Let's play this baby. This will give you a bit of an idea of what Rainforest Alberta is all about.
What does it take to realize an idea, or for a seed to sprout? At Rainforest Alberta, we know the answer is rooted in trust. Traditionally, Albertans have cultivated their ideas in established systems. Inputs that don't fit these systems are weeded out. Opportunities for growth are missed. But now, Albertans want a dynamic landscape that can evolve organically, like a rainforest. At Rainforest Alberta, we believe a culture of trust is the fertile soil where ideas grow. Our budding innovation ecosystem is a network of relationships pulling each other up as they push forward in their own field. Trust breaks down barriers. An open, inclusive network increases collaborative innovation. Successful breakthroughs inspire new ideas. A cycle begins. Rainforest Alberta is a movement to amplify trust by cultivating honesty, inclusion, and accountability. How? Our social contract holds us accountable to demonstrate trust across the province. We meet to have honest conversations around collaboration. This leads to more inclusive spaces for everyone to fearlessly build new ideas together. By raising the standard of trust, Alberta's ideas, talent, and resources can be evergreen. Visit rainforestab.ca to sign the social contract and start growing together.
So the social contract, if you're new to Rainforest, the social contract was written when the movement was founded about 8 or so years ago by a group of leaders in the tech sector who were hoping to build this culture of embracing diversity in order to accelerate innovation and building collaborations and building this culture of trust. So the social contract are 10 values that we all agree to live, work, and play by. And I'll throw the link if you haven't. Actually, we have a slide coming up with the QR code for the social contract if you haven't already signed it. It's really an entry point into the community. And then once you're with us, you can gain access to all sorts of resources, such as this weekly meetup and some other activities that we carry out in the ecosystem. One of them is a measurement of these 6 pillars, which we believe make up the innovation ecosystem. And they are all weighted differently because, they have various breadths of importance. So culture is kind of the drum that we beat around here within the rainforest movement itself. The Calgary innovation and Alberta innovation ecosystems are growing exponentially, like just growing by the day. And so as a movement here at Rainforest, we try to fill in the white spaces between all of the other programming, resources, capital, funding, talent programs that are available to all of you, and just really work to bring diverse audiences together to build this culture. So when you come here, you're going to meet all walks of life. We're no particular niche group here at Rainforest. We're here to bring everybody in the ecosystem together so we can spark new ideas and really push innovation forward in our province. But of course, we need all of these other good things like policy and infrastructure. Engaged activities is another little piece of what we do here. Other resources, programming, capital, and role models to kind of set the stage for all of us within the ecosystem. And many of us here are, I would consider all of us here, role models in the ecosystem, as we all have the opportunity to role model this social contract behavior and entrepreneurship and all this good stuff. So how can you make the most of today? If you are new to the rainforest, you can start by, thanks Nathan, throwing your LinkedIn in the chat so we can connect with you outside of this hour. The movement lives on beyond lunch without lunch, believe it or not. So please introduce yourself in the chat. You can share what you're working on. We will have time later in breakout rooms to do more of that and start to build those connections and your networks in small breakout rooms. Put your camera if you're able to. It just helps us to kind of get to know each other a bit better, and when we see each other in person throughout the community, we can then know who each other are. We are all virtual for this summer of Lunch Without Lunch, but generally we like to do hybrid events so we can have that in-person component as well. Don't forget to ask questions. You can throw those in the chat as our presenter today is presenting, and we'll get to them when the time is right. And also you can raise your hand and unmute when we're done the presentation, and feel free to share your curiosities then. We do record these sessions, so do turn your camera off if you do not want to be on the recording. And we share those on our YouTube channel. We also share the notes from the chat in our Slack channel. We are in and out of summer vacations though, so it may be a couple of weeks. We may be a couple of weeks behind in getting those postings up on YouTube. Here's our social contract QR code that I spoke about. So feel free, I'll just leave that there for a moment. Make sure everybody scans that. These are the values we agree to work and play by. Once you've signed the contract, you should receive an onboarding email that will give you some more information about our digital communities that exist on both Slack and Inkly, and some of the other initiatives that we have on the go. So this is another QR code that will just get you straight to Inkly. So if you missed that onboarding video, Inkly is a question-based platform. So if you're curious about anything and everything building companies and careers in tech, you can head over to this platform and ask your questions. If you don't want to put your name to the question, you can ask anonymously. But we encourage you to be vulnerable and share your curiosities, because part of the social contract and the movement we've built here is to give back to the community. And there are many, many people on that platform ready to share their knowledge with you as it relates to basically anything and everything innovation. So get on that platform and do please share your knowledge with others and answer their questions on the platform as well. There's a few new cool features in there, like the ability to kind of like people's posts, a few different response features. I forget what else, but they're slowly being built up. This is a startup who's built the platform, so we're moving along with the various features on their product roadmap. Additionally, before we just move on here to our presentation, I am just going to stop sharing, and I just want to share a little initiative that we are up to here at the rainforest in the fall. So starting kind of in mid-September-ish, we're bringing on a few extra hands to do some outreach across Calgary. And when I say outreach, I don't mean to the groups or audiences that we generally talk to, a lot of the organizations you represent here today. I'm talking about the broader kind of general population within Calgary to bring awareness about entrepreneurship and careers in technology. So whether or not you're aware or not, Platform Calgary and various other organizations, I just got off a call where Innovate Calgary was sharing their social innovation programs and others. There are many groups in the city offering free entrepreneurship program. So anyone with an idea, even if it's, just the beginnings, the seedlings of an idea, can take that to this programming within the city that exists and start a company. It could be you, it could be someone you know, it could be anyone. I mean, everybody has access to this programming. So it's really fantastic, not to mention a lot of other resources that exist for a bit later stage companies, as well as careers in technology. So we have a lot of organizations and programming in the city right now, reskilling talent to serve the needs of the tech community. However, I don't know about you, but if you have friends and family outside of this little ecosystem bubble, generally don't know about what's going on in the tech sector or the opportunities that exist there for them. So we're going to be going out to community centers, cultural organizations, hobby groups, you name it, and just bringing awareness to some of this programming that exists, inviting those folks into the rainforest to get to know all of us from week to week, and we can share what we know with them. So we are looking for referrals to any of these groups that you belong to outside of tech. So if you have community organizations, cultural groups, all those kind of any audience you can think of, where you think, you know what, it might pay off that if they were to learn a little bit more about what's happening in innovation in our city, those are the people we just want to start conversations with. We're later going to be inviting all of these new friends and all of you to an event being held in November during Calgary's Innovation Week. It's going to be a really interactive game show, and we'll be able to introduce a lot of these fun programming and organizations and people to these new audiences in Calgary. So that was a lot. If that didn't make sense, if you want more information, just reach out to myself, or we'll have a project manager on the team as well that you can reach out to. I'll probably send you to Uriel, who is the project manager. But again, we're looking for groups who do not know about what's happening in the innovation sector. So not the groups that are already working within it, but those who would be unaware. Please let me know if you have any recommendations. Okay. So I will stop talking now. I'll leave it at that. We're going to learn more about the technology access centers around the province. Alexis, I'll maybe let you give an intro to both yourself, the connection into the post-secondaries, and all things tech, if you don't mind.
You bet. Well, I have that sort of integrated into the first couple.
Awesome.
Too. So let me just share my slide.
Sure. While you're doing that, thanks to everybody who's introduced themselves. Talent acquisition at NEO. We've got someone here. I'm sure a lot of people will be hitting you up. Awesome.
Great. You can see that okay?
Looks good.
Okay. If at any time there's issues hearing, you can't hear me, just let me know and I'll try and troubleshoot as we go along. Right. So hello, everyone. My name is Alexis Buzzy. I am the IATC Operations Officer at Lethbridge College. Before I get started, I would like to take a moment to acknowledge that the city of Lethbridge, where I live and where Lethbridge College is located, is situated on lands traditionally occupied by the Blackfoot Confederacy, which is made up of the Kainai, the Piikani Nation, the Siksika Nation in southern Alberta, and the Blackfeet tribe in northern Montana. In the spirit of reconciliation, I commit to continue learning about the role the land plays in the Siksika culture, and to allow this knowledge to help inform the work I do in my various roles. The city of Lethbridge is home to about 100,000 people. It serves as the major hub for a large rural region, commonly referred to as Canada's premier food corridor, where agriculture is our leading industry. Lethbridge College has roughly 6,000 students and about 60 certificate, diploma, and degree programs, including trades and apprenticeships. And we have a strong applied research focus with over 30 years of research history. Lethbridge College has been recognized as one of Canada's top 50 research colleges for 2022 on Research InfoSource. And our goal is to achieve placement in the top 10 list by 2025. Fundamental to Lethbridge College's vision of leading and transforming education in Alberta, the Centre for Applied Research, Innovation and Entrepreneurship at Lethbridge College is a catalyst for economic growth, sustainability, and social development in the region. Through our applied research groups, we help industry innovate. And one mechanism for doing so is through our Technology Access Centre, which is called the Integrated Agricultural Technology Centre, or IATC for short, which is what I'm going to talk to you about today. Let's begin with a quick overview of what a TAC is. For anyone who attended the state's Green Building Technologies Access Center presentation last week, this slide will likely be a repeat for you, so please bear with me. Technology Access Centers are funded partially through NSERC and are supported by the TAC Access Canada Network. TACs are state-of-the-art applied research and innovation centers that offer value-added research, development, and innovation services, access to technology and equipment, and customized training to Canadian businesses, particularly small and medium-sized enterprises, or SMEs. TACs are uniquely positioned to help industry in developing new prototypes, scaling up processes, and solving unique business challenges. There are 60 TACs located across Canada at colleges, polytechnics, and CEGEPs, and 8 of them are located in Alberta. Lethbridge College was awarded its TAC in April 2020. Since then, we have been perfecting our processes for connecting SMEs with our in-house research expertise and providing applied research, technical services, consultation, and training to our industry partners. A primary focus of the IATC is pre-commercial validation with SMEs leading to commercial application. And our dedicated applied researcher model helps streamline this process to better suit industry timelines. We bring new knowledge to the province by employing international postdocs, and we have built significant capacity in our research infrastructure to service the innovative ecosystem. The primary focus of our TAC is on integrated food production systems, which is facilitated through the applied researchers and technical experts working in our Aquaculture Centre for Excellence and our Centre for Sustainable Food Production. However, at Lethbridge College, we also have agricultural applied research programs focused on irrigation science and advanced post-harvest technologies. And these teams can be pulled in as needed when addressing the challenges brought to us by our clients. The IATC connects our clients who range from small startups to large established multinational corporations with the technologies and research expertise at Lethbridge College. We begin by scoping out our clients' identified challenges to ensure our research expertise aligns with their needs and goals. If there is alignment, we go through a project charter process with the client to determine the best path forward. This could be an applied research and development project funded either by the client or through an external research grant, where either the client or Lethbridge College is the grant applicant. Or the challenge may be better addressed through a technical services agreement or a consultation agreement. It really just depends on the scope and scale of their challenge. To help serve the need for accessible training and education around the adoption of aquaponics, the team at the IATC has developed a series of online micro-credentials that are entirely self-paced and reasonably priced. Although there are still 2 more courses in the final stages of development, the other 8 are currently available online, and I'll put the link to this in the chat at the end of the presentation. The list of currently available courses include aquaponics design, integrated pest management, water quality management, economics of commercial aquaponics, fish production, food safety, plant physiology, and solids and waste handling. So what is our research focus on climate-controlled agriculture and specifically aquaponics? Before I go into the details, I will show you a brief video of Dr. Sabadov, the senior research scientist at the IATC, outlining the vision behind the research. So this is a video. Please, if somebody could let me know pretty early on if you're having issues hearing it. I will push forward.
My name is Nick Savidov. I'm a senior research scientist with Lethbridge College. Our goal is to develop efficient food production systems in agriculture, aquaculture, and waste management. What we're doing at the college.
Oh, sorry. Let me just turn up the volume.
College is trying to help industry to tackle their problems and finding unique technical solutions. In many respects, the technologies we're developing here are very unique. This is the only place where we, for example, developed aerobic bioreactor technology. This technology allows us to completely solubilize all solid waste coming from agriculture or from food industry. One of our partners, Granary Road, we helped them to design and build the first national showcase on aquaponics in Canada. Aquaponics, it's a combination of aquaculture and hydroponics where fish provides nutrients and the plants take those nutrients from fish water and water goes back to fish. So it's a closed loop system. They approached the college about 4 years ago and asked us to design this system, and our team worked on that, and the result is as a very successful project completed. They have lots of visitors, and we managed through our partner reach much larger audience. Many more people who visit, they have an opportunity to see this concept in action and make their wider public aware of different ways to produce food which are more efficient, less damaging for environment, have less carbon footprint in order to provide food for future generations. We are mimicking the same interactions, the same relationships you observe in nature between animals and plants. Now we are coming back, we are borrowing those mechanisms which govern natural ecosystems to build a perfect food production system which utilizes all inputs with 100% efficiency and at the same time producing zero waste. I really would like to make our agriculture more sustainable. I'm thinking about future generations who can really enjoy the beauty of this planet and who can have all those resources. And in order to do that, we need to really reconsider our approach, how we produce food. We need to think how to do it more efficiently with less environmental impact.
All right. Our greenhouse operations, biosecure isolation facilities, water recirculation technologies, and water quality testing provide a solid foundation for a variety of aquatic and aquaponic-based research, particularly in aquaponics, recirculation aquaculture systems, or RAS for short, RAS ecosystem health, RAS water quality, greenhouse techniques and technologies, water conservation, water management, aerobic bioreactor technology, and novel microfiltration systems like biochar. Pictured here is the inside of our Aquaculture Center for Excellence, or ACE. On the left is Dr. Savidov, who you just saw in the video, and on the right is John Dirksen, the chair of the Aquaculture Center for Excellence. You can see into the top of one of our fish tanks. It's filled with tilapia, and you'll likely also notice that there are several other tanks behind them in the background. Dr. Savidov and John's team is internationally recognized in aquaculture and aquaponics research, leading the industry in refining and developing aquaculture production systems and recirculation methods that economically grow high yield, high quality food while minimizing the environmental impact. Here are a few more photos showcasing the technology currently employed in ACE. The first picture is a close-up shot of some of our resident fish. Our system only uses tilapia, but aquaponic systems can be designed around any fish. There are things you would want to consider when selecting the type of fish, like what's the market demand for them, and I guess what temperature you might need to keep the fish at, depending on the fish. Suppose you selected a cold water fish like salmon, for example. In that case, there would be a higher energy input demand to keep the water temperature cool. The second photo here shows our novel biochar microfiltration system that's connected to our recirculating water system. So water from our fish tanks first go through a drum filter to remove all the suspended solids before it is sprayed into these beds of biochar. The biochar are extremely porous, which is beneficial for the growth of bacteria that will break down the ammonia present in the water, turning it into nitrate. The water that goes through this process is then piped to our greenhouse, where the plants filter out the nitrate as nutrients they need to grow before the water is directed back to the fish tanks to go through the process all over again. The third photo shows plants growing aquaponically in a raft system, utilizing the nitrate nutrients present in the water. Pictured here is the batch aerobic bioreactor technology Dr. Savadov and his team developed. I still don't understand how the full process works, but essentially the aerobic bioreactors break down all the suspended solids that are removed through the drum filter process I mentioned earlier, and also any fish mortalities that occur. And then through its process, creates a shelf-stable concentrated liquid fertilizer. If you were to lift the lid on one of these bins, you would see a very dark slurry that's constantly being agitated. Once it goes through the process, it's almost completely clear. It's pretty amazing to see. Pictured here is the Center for Sustainable Food Production, which contains a 10,000 square foot research greenhouse designed to test technologies and growing techniques, and to conduct industry scale greenhouse trials, as well as pre-commercial validation on commercial applications. Here's an inside look at the greenhouse. You can see Dr. Celine Karatapi, our postdoctoral fellow, whose research provides economic analysis related to our growing systems, and Dr. Savadov. They are walking through a crop of cucumbers, which is one of the first trial crops grown in our greenhouse after construction was completed. This picture shows the shade cloth set up in a grid pattern just below the roof line along the whole growing space of a greenhouse. This setup allows us to test various supplemental lighting and is an essential component of an upcoming 3-year greenhouse lighting project. So Lethbridge College will receive over $350,000 from RDAR for this 3-year lighting project, and is one of 39 research projects across Canada selected to receive a share of $11.49 million in funding through the Agriculture Funding Consortium, or AFC. The AFC represents 18 agricultural organizations that raise funds to support sustainability, diversification, and growth for the agri-food industry in Western Canada. Access to adequate light is a critical factor in greenhouse crop productivity. An abundance of natural sunlight in southern Alberta makes for excellent growing conditions. However, growing in the region's long, dark winters can pose challenges, so supplemental lights are often necessary to stay competitive year-round. Only a small portion of commercial greenhouse operators in North America use supplemental lighting because of the prohibitive costs. Adopting new lighting technology can be expensive, and producers want to ensure a strong return on investment before making that step. This project will investigate the performance of conventional high-intensity discharge lights, horticultural LEDs, and common industrial lights such as high bay LEDs. Our research teams hope to identify best practices for supplemental lighting for growing cucumbers, tomatoes, and peppers, 3 of Canada's most popular greenhouse crops. While the project will focus on measuring yield, quality, and ROI, it will also measure the unique characteristics of plant stress using a sophisticated crop electrophysiology system. This technology will allow the growers to detect even minor plant stress at earlier stages before they lose yield, playing a more proactive role in eliminating plant stress. That brings me to the end of my presentation. Thank you all for your time and interest. We are happy to accommodate tours of our facility to potential industry partners and clients upon request. Feel free to contact me if you have any follow-up questions after today, and I'll put my email address into the chat after closing up my presentation, as well as the link to the microcredits. If you or someone you know has a challenge related to our field of work, please submit a client intake form, and I'll share that link as well. Thank you.
Oh, that's mind-blowing, really. Each of these presentations are such an eye-opener to what's really happening across the province.
I'm trying to unshare my screen, but
okay.
Let me just see.
Who has questions? Pete, you have a question? Do you want to unmute?
Hey, very good presentation, Alexis. Thank you very much for sharing that information. And I do think this indoor growing and farming are very important for communities, and especially northern communities in Canada. How does intellectual property and trade secrets get addressed when somebody brings an idea, whether it be a student or an entrepreneur or somebody that wants to leverage the facilities and bring their ideas and get some help?
It's a really good question. So you might be familiar with how universities typically handle IP. If it's in a university setting, they traditionally hold on to the IP and license it out. Colleges, we are uniquely situated where we have a lot more freedom in how we handle IP. So if a client has developed something and the IP is theirs, they come to work with us on it, they remain the complete owners of the IP. There are instances where technology like the aerobic bioreactors were created in-house through our own researchers' work. And in that case, there are other avenues that we can look at. If we are partnering with somebody, we might be able to license that IP out. But primarily our industry clients and partners remain the sole owners of their IP. I hope that answered the question.
It did. Thanks very much. That's a unique advantage that you have.
Yeah. Do you want to go ahead? Is it Supir? Is that how you say your name? Oh, you're muted. Just have to unmute.
Yeah, I'm Sukhbir Singh Sokhi. So actually half of my question has been covered in the previous question. This was my question also, where I am a newcomer to Canada, and I am also not an entrepreneur yet because I have to incorporate yet, but I am an innovator and I have a US patent already to my name. And I have an innovative idea where I aspire to make the life of the people easy by providing them a solution to clear the snow from the driveways, where this is a sustainable idea and it would use 90% less energy as compared to currently used radiant heat and hydronic systems. So this was my question, that if I bring that idea to the university, as I am not a student, and at the same time, I have yet to incorporate because I'm a newcomer to Canada. So how my IP rights would be protected? This was the first question. And what are the facilities available to an innovator like me with the university?
So I'll just answer, there's a couple things that I need to address there. We are a college, and so that's the main difference. If you do approach a university, they typically hold on to IP, but colleges do have a bit more freedom on how IP is handled. There are, like we said before, 60 TACs all over the country, and each TAC usually has a slightly different focus. It depends on where their research expertise are. So the agricultural TAC that we have might not be the best fit, but there are likely several TACs that could address your unique idea or challenge a little bit better. So I'd recommend that you check out all the TACs available. And maybe Bridget, you can help me send out the link to all the different TACs after, because there is a website that kind of, you can peruse them based on the technology that you're developing or interested in.
So should I hope a reply by email to me?
Yeah, but it might be useful for everyone too. So I don't know if we want to send it out to everyone. I could try and find the link before I leave today, but I just won't be able to do that while I'm talking.
Okay.
But
So I put the link in the chat for all of the TACs across Canada, because correct me if I'm wrong, Alexis, but they're all accessible to all Canadians, correct? It's not a provincial thing. And yeah, to Alexis's point, they cover many areas of expertise or specific area of innovation or technology. And it seems like there's a contact form there, so you could probably fill that out to get directed to the appropriate TAC, I'd imagine.
Yeah, the Tech Access Canada will help direct you. There's a portal that you can enter your question in, and it's called like a jump ball, and all of the TACs will see it, and any of the TACs that are related to the industry you're interested in will respond to you.
Gary's put that in. Thanks.
And for that, I do not need to incorporate, or should I incorporate first?
So it really depends on your situation. You might find that you have better access to potential funding if you're incorporated. So we work closely with NSERC. They're a funder of the TACs, but they have the IRAP program where they can help industry clients who are closer to sort of getting their technology out there, that are further in their readiness stage. And you have to be incorporated to access that. So that's something that you might want to consider as you move forward. Same thing with the TACs. Typically, we usually get involved when a client is further along their readiness stage of their business or of their technology.
That's why I was more inclined to connect to a college. Sorry for using a university first. I was more inclined to connect to a college. So I suppose that tech is within the college premises, or it is independent body?
Like the TACs themselves, they have to be connected to either a college, a polytechnic, or a CJAP, but not all colleges have TACs. It's a lengthy application process, and there are only a certain number of TACs that are awarded each year.
And Lethbridge College has Tech Connect.
We do have a TAC, yes. Ours was in agriculture, so aquaponics and greenhouse growing, essentially.
Okay, thanks.
Of course.
Thanks for giving me time.
Thank you.
How about trying SEAT's further advanced technology system as well, because they have quite a good, strong system for innovation.
Thanks, Nicholas. We do have a question from Sasha in the chat about if there's any publicly available research papers from Dr. Savadov.
Yes, he does have a few. I don't have the list handy.
Yeah.
I know that he was actually just working on publishing a couple more. But I can try and get the list, and Bridget, would you be able to help me send that out after the fact?
Yeah, we would put that in our Slack channel. So just kind of check for notifications there. But I'd imagine like if he's published anything through you could access that through any academic library or a public library, most likely. And in the interest of time, I do want to get over to there's a lot of resources coming for you in the chat there, so feel free to check that out. And I think in the interest of time, I don't think I've missed any questions in the chat, or if there's any other here, if anyone wants to quickly raise a hand for one last question, and then we'll head into breakout rooms. Is there a specific reason why the college focuses on aquaponics? Alexis?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think it just depends on the research expertise that originated at the college. And we had Nick and John working together for the past 20 years. We have a few other research programs that were contenders for the TAC, but we felt that this one was at the right stage and it could be sort of more easily accessible to industry partners. It was just the right program at the right time.
Yeah, right on. So again, check out the website for the other TACs if this is piquing curiosity, because as we've mentioned a few times, there are several throughout the province. Red Deer College, Red Deer Polytechnic, I guess, has one around manufacturing. So I'm not sure if that might pique interest for folks who are looking to build prototypes or looking at manufacturing requirements and needs. And we'll be hearing from them sometime. I don't have the schedule right in front of me. But what we'll do now is we'll head into some breakout rooms and have the opportunity to get to know each other a little bit more, chat about the presentation that we just got to see, the TACs, the needs that you maybe have in building your own company or bringing your own ideas to life. There's lots of expertise in this room right now. Lots of folks, I'm sure, keen to share what they know with you. So I'll open some breakouts and we'll probably have time to do 2 7-ish minute breakouts. I urge you not to disappear right now. This is really where you'll probably gain a lot of value in the hour in getting to know some of the other folks in the community. So I'll open those rooms now and I'll see you back in about 7 minutes and we'll spin the wheel again. And we'll be back at the top of the hour for community announcements. All right. Well, does anybody have any community announcements that they'd like to share? The mall group now, we've lost quite a few. You scare them off, you guys? Come on.
I tend to do that. You know, it's my wicked
Yeah.
dad jokes that scare people off.
You just draw me in with those dad jokes.
Yeah.
Pete,
Actually,
oh, you have
go ahead,
something.
Pete.
Sorry, Dad. Go ahead.
well, you know, I do have something, but I am Bow Valley College is introducing the apprenticeship style learning for software development and digital design to the tech community here in Calgary. So I am looking for values-driven employers that want to co-create talent in this style of learning. So we have a community event coming on September 13th for that.
Awesome.
That's my announcement.
Can you put the link in the chat? Is that the first apprenticeship style dev program?
Yeah, so the link doesn't even exist yet because I'm still working on it. But it's the students will go to school and get paid at the same time.
Fantastic. I love it. Cool. Okay, thank you. And Pete, an announcement quickly before we sign off.
Yeah, no problem. I'm just going to suggest maybe Thursday around 2:30. People might want to go over to the King Edward Hotel and I might even buy you a beer.
Whoa. Okay. Sure. Thursday, 2:30.
Sorry, repeat that, Peter. I heard beer.
King Edward Hotel, Thursday, 2:30.
I also heard might.
Yeah,
Might.
nice. Good catch, V.
Yeah, you might not. So
V might bring some money too.
Be ready for anything. I actually have a quick ask. If your company or any you know of use AWS services, I'm looking to interview companies who do so for a consulting project. So please reach out to me, Bridget at rainforestab.ca. All right. Thank you so much, everybody, and have a great rest of the week, rest of August. It's going by way too quickly. We will be back online next week with another TAC.